Okay, hold on a second. Oh, good. Everything's good. Welcome, you guys, to the live. Let me just get some music to get things started. What we're going to be doing today is we're actually going to be doing a Birds of Prey comic book read. Actually, we'll go right into it. I do a lot of preamble. If there's enough time, we'll do some of my favorite songs inspired by Batman at the end. So thank you guys for joining. Welcome, Chris, Hair, Haven, Exta, Dixie. Okay, so I'm going to get right into the read. We're going to be reading Batgirl, Birds of Prey, just because I talked to you guys a bit before as Black Canary, and just was about how these girls are actually the founders of Birds of Prey. So I'm just going to go... Merit. Yeah. Oh, nope. That's not it. There. 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 All right. Without further ado, let's get into the comic book read. Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to read your name. Destined Kariba. Oh, yes. Leonard. Papa Dave. Hi, guys. Welcome to the read. I wanted to bring on some feel-good vibes. Just, times have been, like, not tough. I hesitate to say it that way. Samations, hi, welcome. It's been just, tough on my end emotionally as it comes to certain things. The Cosmos will say one thing, but oh, thanks, Papa Dave. Thank you for the roses. Appreciate it. So, it's been so hard for me to get my schedule up and running, and just to have my collaborations work out. And so, please, thank you for having patience with me. But today, I wanted to do a standalone read that was like a bit more of like a feel-good story. We're in spooky season, right? So this idea of like dressing up and playing as a character, and more fun when you get to do that with friends of yours, right? So, oh, thanks, Papa Dave. So I am working on a DC Bombshells dance routine number, like very 80s heels, like an update of DC Bombshells, but like 80s style. I don't know how else to describe it. So it's like kind of like a remix of it. So, hey Scott Summers, I will only be patient because you are awesome. You're the best, Papa Dave. Papa Dave, if you were to cosplay in the DC universe, who would you be? Who would you be? Because I'm trying to put together like music video storytelling, because I'm from like Much Music MTV generation, like back before they used to play music videos, and it was like a big deal having a music video. And those music videos, just like Michael Jackson's Thriller, right? Vincent Price in the beginning, it's just kind of fun. Nightcrawler, ooh, that's a good one, Mike. I was watching, I like those characters that, like Batgirl, who delve into the darkness, right? And so this is going to be a really fun read for you guys. It's one of my favorites. And so just, like themes of friendship and the Birds of Prey, and, they're all pretty hot too. So, my bat signal warned me that you're alive. Hey, Alex, how's it going? It's funny. Once upon a time in my past life, I used to work in corporate for a company called KPMG, and I used to work with like countries from all over the world. But the main countries I worked with were like the top 8 countries that made the most revenue, and France was one of them. And not to confuse French with Quebecois French, but there's just this idea of like when you're talking or languaging or communicating with each other, that language and words are only part of it, which is why comic books are so fun, because there's pictures too. So welcome, you guys, to the read. I am your host for this evening. I am Barbara Gordon, Batgirl, and we're going to be reading about my girls, the Birds of Prey. So let's get right into the read. Welcome. It's like a kind of evening time, and I think I've since improved on my reading skills, reading you guys live. So I hope you guys enjoy this one. It's a nice little encapsulated standalone read. Okay. I texted you the address, Barbara, in case you change your mind. Oh, I'm so sorry, Helena. So you can see here there's like a little trip happening, and people are leaving. They're leaving Gotham, right, to get out of the city, which is like sometimes do that in Toronto here too. You want to like get out of the city. You want to go on a camping trip. I mean, like it's cooler now, so it's like not going to be as warm to be able to do that. But here we go. So birds of prey. We're starting out, and the birds of prey in this iteration, just to get you guys up to speed, are Black Canary, Batgirl, and Helena Bertinelli version of Huntress. Now, you guys know, just being on this show before, that there is a version of Huntress in Earth 2 who is Catwoman and Bruce Wayne's daughter. She is not this Helena. They're both named Helena, and they're both Huntress. So just a funny thing. So anyways, let's continue on. I texted you the address, Barbara, in case you change your mind. I'm so sorry, Helena, but with Gus gone and Calculator in the wind, I feel like someone needs to stay in Gotham and hold down the fort. You know, it's like when you have like work and you can't all take the same day off, like even Thanksgiving, which we had off, right? So I used to work as a bartender, and it's not like you get those days off. So, but like if you took Thanksgiving off last time, next time it's the other person. So Barbara, Batgirl, stays behind in Gotham while her girls are going out for a little bit of a vacay, right? Gotta take shifts on that kind of stuff. And so you can see here on the bus. Besides, you've got Dinah with you to help chaperone, right? So in this iteration of the Birds of Prey, Helena is actually also a school teacher. And so she brought along Dinah, who is Black Canary, on this school trip. So I guess it's not really, well, it's not exactly like for pleasure, I suppose. It's also for like work. Hi, Lion's Eye Official. Welcome to the read. We're doing some Birds of Prey reading as your host, Batgirl. I'm also known as Oracle in some regards, but I wanted to do like a nice feel good encapsulated comic book read because like it throws back to YTV or like these old shows like back to school specials and stuff, or even like late night specials where you'd have an episode of a show that's like a little bit like the musical episode, or the one where like it was all a dream. So you get to have these like standalone episodes that, because sometimes, you know, like I've been reading you guys like Crisis on Infinite Earths and like Identity Crisis and like A World Without a Justice League and Constantine. And these stories are very they can be really heavy, right? It's like when you watch a certain type of movie and you're like, you get into it and you cry, and it's just like you really feel for the characters when they're going through something. And some artworks, some movies, some stories are difficult to watch and go through because of that, right? So I figured tonight we could all use like a little bit of like one of those like, I miss those stories where like, you know, the team's just all together, or like in Sailor Moon, for example, like Darian and Serena are like never together. Like in soap operas, you never have the main couples together. The whole point of the story is for them to get together. But then when they get together, they're like together for like 2 seconds, and then something happens, and then we're back to this again. So I feel like sometimes we deserve having stories that are just, you know, there's a happy ending. It's like a self-encapsulated day where it's like we're along for the ride as like we're the birds of prey, right? Creature, how do I know which ones are worth anything? So you know what? This is, I think, to your point, you know what that's saying? Like and yes, YTV was totally dope. Lion's Eye Official. Who was your favorite VJ? I feel like they called them PJs back then. Remember PJ Freshfill? He was Filipino, so I was like, yay. Someone who's representative of kind of me, you know? But to your point of creature, so you also have to realize what you consider valuable. So I'm going to show you 2 of my most valued comic books before we continue in the read. What kind of comic books are they, out of curiosity? And I also have a P.O. box that I finally have set up that is in Winnipeg if you guys want to send over some comic books or anything you would like for me to read live that you guys have. So my 2 favorite, like that I own, are Multiversity, which was originally my sister's, and she gifted to me. And you can see, like, it's not going to be worth anything to anyone else now, right? Because it's like fallen apart. Pages have come out of it. I've read it multiple times. I've like researched it because it deals a lot with multiverses. And I've used it as like a guidebook to my own cosmology in my own stories and sagas, right? And then, of course, Crisis on Infinite Earths, which has a series of comics in it as well. Which, you know, if you had the original version in 1985 of this, like the original issues when it was first released, and you have them in mint condition, I bet you they are worth a decent amount. But it depends on like who's buying this, right? Like I had this whole conversation with Golden Age Comics when I went to go visit Vancouver because I was trying to find some of the Supergirl comics that were like her original, like when did Supergirl first appear on the cover, right? Like 1960s or so. So I wanted to get comic books that were like, what do you want to call it? Like a ledger or like a researcher of comics. Because like, you know, think about it. It's are an unopened plastic creature. I bet you they're probably worth something. Depending on where you live, you might want to go to like an old comic book store and see if you can get them appraised. You could also, there's tons of stuff online, right? You may have a very specific issue that is worth a lot of money, right? And that just goes to show also like just value of certain stories. Like for me, I've read you guys, Alex, I remember you asked me that question of how many of my comics are like mine and how many comics are like from the library. And when it comes to reading you guys stories, I'll divinate with the universe. And some stories I don't own yet. Because I can't afford Doomsday, Doomsday Clock, which is the crossover between DC Comics and the Watchmen universe. But I do own Watchmen, but that was a gift. So I also own certain comic books that this one as well. This was also a gift because when I used to work at the hospital, I used to work at UHN here in downtown Toronto as a project manager for a diabetes application known as BANT, named after Frederick Banting, who discovered insulin from Toronto. So something in the water here when it comes to that kind of stuff. There's something in the water wherever you are. You just have to have the eyes to see the magic that's around you. That's I think, the biggest lesson I've learned from reading comic books and other fantastical tales. So I hope you guys get the message from the universe that I'm throwing tonight, which is about friendship and this idea of, you'll see. I'm going to just read it. We'll get into it. So Helena's on the bus. She's with Dinah. She's a teacher, and so they're going off on, like, I think a school camping trip. Oh, creatures, no problem. And thanks for the follow, Lance and Usama. I read comic books and cosplay as a way of bringing stories to life. Because how meta is this? It's like this idea of somewhere out there in the cosmos, someone's reading a comic book about you. Make it a good story. Okay, so besides, you've got Dinah with you to help chaperone, right? And Helena's like, well, okay, sort of. Blythe, I can't believe Miss B is besties with the lead singer from the Black Canary band. So in this world, Black Canary, unlike the other, like if you can see here, she doesn't really wear a mask, right? So she's known already as like a singer, and she's part of the Black Canary band in this. Did my message go through? God, bitch, I don't think it did. I think it might have censored you. Please do send it again. Maybe you have to send it in code. You know what? TikTok censors such random-ish on here. It's so weird. And Wonka, hi. Welcome to the live. Barbara Gordon here. Your favorite Batgirl. Well, the original Batgirl. I've kind of fallen in love with Cassandra Cain a little bit the more I learned about her. So maybe I'll do a Cassandra Cain cosplay. We'll see. And Faram, hi, welcome. So some Birds of Prey. The lovely. If you had a favorite Birds of Prey, please do drop in the chat. I go between Black Canary and Batgirl sometimes because Black Canary is pretty cool. I love her dynamic with Barbara. Actually, their friendship's actually something that like I relate to. So I have a few Black Canaries that are I have in contention because Black Canary is a singer too, right? So it's like that double entendre of the power of your vocal cords. And I'm still working on my singing voice. I tried to say arrow quote. What was the arrow quote? An Arrow and Black Canary are literally one of my favorite superhero couples. Their dynamic's really cute. Okay, so you can see her here. Can Maya and I put this up on Crackle Chat? Crackle Chat. I love when the comic books like Crackle Chat. Sure, whatever you want. Wait, what's Crackle Chat? You have failed this city. Which city? Well, Gotham's kind of... I'm staying behind while my friends are going off on a camping trip. So I'll say that I'm doing the hard work here. Okay. Well, I think giving your class a dose of Gotham history is a great idea. Besides, it gets them out of the city. I know, we're just 30 miles outside Gotham, but I feel like we're in another country. You should see the leaves changing. It's gorgeous. You mean there are colors in Gotham other than black and gray? Imagine that. Gotta go. I'm getting another call. Don't get into too much trouble without me. Oh, with Dinah in tow? I promise nothing. Thanks, Gavin. I love it too because in the story itself, there will already be certain things encoded. So we just gotta pay attention, right? Hi, Spidey. Welcome to the read. I know that we're not in the same universe right now, but I feel like the Spider-Verse also deals with multiverses, so understand that whole idea. All right, so we flash back to Babs, who's in her watchtower. So just so you guys know, Barbara is also Oracle, and she became Oracle after the events of the Killing Joke, wherein she became paralyzed because of the Joker. Now, there's a couple reasons how she gets the use of her legs back, but she gets the use of her legs back and she retakes the helm of Batgirl, but she still also is Oracle, right? So, there we go. So she's in the watchtower right now. You're the one who convinced me to get a landline, but last time I checked, oh my gosh, she's got a landline. My dad also has a landline. You're the one who convinced me to get a landline the last I checked. You're the only one who calls on this thing, Barbara. In fact, I'm pretty sure we're the only two people in Gotham with phones that still plug into a wall. Oh, she's talking to Batman right now. So she's off the hook. She's like just said goodbye because so Diana, Black Canary, and Huntress are off on a camping trip. Barbara's back in the watchtower in Gotham because she's someone's got to take care of the city, right? And Batman's on the phone with her and she's like, "You're the one who convinced me to get a landline, Batman." He's like, "Listen, Barbara, this is important. Barbara, listen. I need your help. I need Oracle. Bruce, what's going on? Are you in danger? Oh, it's not just me. My entire team is in danger. If you can't help me, and then we're all going to drown." Oh, gosh. And so you can see the whole team that need Oracle's help. And Barbara's in fuzzy slippers, which I can appreciate. I like her little... I swear, I have a sweater just like it. With like the where is it? Here. There. With little ears and stuff. Okay. My entire team is in danger. If you can't help me, then we all drown. The glass won't break, says Batwoman. The doors are sealed. Tell me what we're looking at besides an impenetrable glass tank. Nigma rigged one of those personal assistant devices to fill the tank. It's called Jeeves. Jeeves? I'm sorry, but I don't understand that command. Think of it like a computerized Alfred that responds to voice commands. Jeeves, open the door. I'm sorry, I don't understand that command. Alfred, listen to me. Alfred listens to me Mostly. This thing doesn't. That's because Nigma set it to respond only to his voice pattern. Don't worry, I have another idea. I just need to hack your phone. Then I can connect to Jeeves via NFC and reset the system. And this is why you need Oracle, baby. Hurry, the water is rising fast. I'm connected to Jeeves, oh my gosh. I'm connected to Jeeves, but it's set to blow if I try to reboot or disconnect the device. I can't hack the system without killing you all. Well, Nigma's very smart. So I have another comic book where the Riddler basically tries to court Barbara. So here, I'm currently watching Arrow again to recap myself. I do like Arrow as well. There's a few shows, like, because the thing about series, right, they can be so, I get really into shows, right? So I get really, like, emotionally involved. So, like, do you have to start at the beginning for every show? Like, go from season 1 all the way to season 6 and all that kind of stuff? It can take a lot of time. Okay. So you can see Batman and them are, like, struggling, and Batgirl's like, okay, I need to think of a solution. Otherwise, they're going to drown. So it's set to blow if I try to reboot or disconnect the device. I can't hack the system without killing you all. The Riddler left a puzzle that can only be answered with our deaths. Bruce, you're a genius. Plan B. Put me on speakerphone and hold it near Jeeves. Okay. Gurgle, gurgle, gurgle. Oh, well, I wasn't looking. Thanks, Crypto Joe. Appreciate that. And Scene Thief, Arrow was my show. Yeah, and you know what? The great thing about Arrow, too, that I love is, like, literally he's Robin Hood, right? And Robin Hood, that whole concept of, like, the rogue, the archer, we're coming into, like, that season of Sagittarius. Anytime you have an archer, it's this concept of aiming and timing, right? And this idea of a type of warrior that is much more strategic. It's interesting too because you'll find Bruce and Oliver Queen, they tend to clash a lot because I guess they're both billionaires, whatever. But they do have different ways they operate, even though they're both roguish, right? In general. I would say Batman's a lot more like strict on his moral code, even though others don't quite get it. Batman to himself is like strict on it, whereas Ollie can find, I think, a bit more of like, like roguish understanding of justification of certain ways of achieving a goal, right? Oh, Bomb Chicka Wow Wow. It's like a little poem too. Thank you. Welcome to the read. We're doing a Birds of Prey reading as Barbara Gordon, Batgirl. Na 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 na. Batgirl. Well, it's not. The theme song to the 60s one with Yvonne Craig. It's actually quite annoying. I was telling my hubby, I'm like, we need to do like a remix. Give it some love. Maybe some 80s synth Batgirl kind of remake. Let's see what we can do. Okay. So, Bruce, you're a genius. Plan B. Put me on speakerphone and hold it near Jeeves. Okay. Gurgle, gurgle, gurgle. Here goes nothing. Jeeves, open the tank and shut off the water. Oh, nice, Pikachu. Pika Pika. Welcome to the read. Ah, thank you. Yay. Ah, it's like my little Batmobile. Barbara doesn't have a Batmobile. I have a Batcycle. I'm that cool. So thank you for that, Pikachu. I very appreciate it. Okay. Hello, Mr. Nigma. Opening the tank and shutting off the water system. So Barbara finally figured out how to kind of like hack it. Just sounding like Nigma and hacking that system. It's also why when the Riddler tries to court Barbara, because Catwoman and Batman get married, and this, for whatever reason, makes Riddler be like, oh, I wonder who would be my match. And he's like, oh, clearly Batgirl, because she's the only one out there who's as intelligent as me. So he goes, I have a read on my YouTube of it where he goes down this whole path of like leaving her little notes in like a messed up villain kind of way. So not to say this is the kind of same thing, but I will say that Jim Carrey's Riddler in Batman Forever was pretty good. That same like cagey behavior. Okay. Is everyone all right? We're groggy, but alive. Good work, Barbara. Or should I say, Oracle? Way to be subtle, Batman. Anytime. Oh, and you should really change your phone password. Will do. Gotta go. Track down the Riddler. Would you care to hear the weather report? Gotham National Bank again? Let's give the good old Jeep CPD a heads up. Been a while since I talked to Dad anyway. So it's kind of cool too because Commissioner Gordon is Barbara's dad, and this whole time he never knows that Ledger Joker is the best Joker ever to me. God, bitch, you know what? I feel like that role may have like killed him too in some sort of way. Like I feel like the old Greek tragedies did this a lot, right? Where persona is like putting on a mask, and sometimes like a lot of horror stories are like this, like you can't take the mask off, right? And like, or you become the mask. And hey, voice of one, and any of the stories with the Joker, to be a villain to Batman, the counter to Batman, two sides of the same coin, but order and chaos. But is Batman really order, and is Joker truly chaos? Like, it's like this weird thing also too when it comes to things like mental health or spiritual disease, I'll put it that way, where when we get put into situations of grief and darkness and jealousy and envy and hate, it puts us in a position to perhaps be like have attachments, right? Like the Joker becomes the Joker as a result of what happens to him, right? Same thing with Two-Face, the Riddler, even Catwoman. This transformation happens as a result of an event. And even Batman, right? A crux to Batman's story is that he loses his parents. And Barbara's big backstory is that her father is Commissioner Gordon. Johnny, thanks for the follow. And I do relate to Babs a lot, right? Because of her relationship with her dad and knowing how much to let those you love in. There's a quote that Oliver Queen, the Arrow, says to Hal, because in Identity Crisis, Hal Jordan and Ollie are actually good friends. And they talk a little bit about how, like, the morality of everything, right? Like, who you make the best choice at the time you're in. And oftentimes, like, sometimes it can feel like a mistake, but perhaps that mistake is what's required for you to grow as a character. And for us to also realize there's always a path back to redemption, whatever that looks like on a personal level, right? So, Oracle, Miss Oracle, she is basically like the eyes and ears of the entire superhero squad in the DC universe, right? Even after she becomes Batgirl again. And it's this funny thing because in some cases, Barbara and Bruce have a love affair. There's a sexual tension there. But in other cases, she's with Nightwing, who's Dick Grayson, who's the first Robin. Now, regardless of this, the three, Batgirl, Robin, and Batman, when they finally come to creation, become characters, right, in our consciousness, we now have a Bat family, right? And I've said this to you guys, like, out of all, it's so interesting how, like, Batman's so, like, grumpy and grouchy and, like, I work alone. But, like, out of all of, like, the comic book lore, they're, like, the ones that are truly, like, a family, that they actually, like, work together, right? Because they are a reflection also of humanity's nature as well. In Dungeons and Dragons, right? You have this idea of like good, evil, and then neutral, and then certain character types that have a choice, right? In terms of how you want to play the game. Let's continue on. We went down a tangent. So she's saying, it's been a while since I talked to Dad anyways. What I really wanted to get at is that Commissioner Gordon does not know that Barbara is Batgirl. He never does. And when she loses the use of her legs, it's because Joker's trying to get back at Commissioner Gordon and Batman, not because he knows that she's Batgirl, right? So this whole thing happens because when you're fighting evil and you don't wear the mask, those that you love become a target, right? So it's something you even see in like movies where you're like a witness to a crime, or you have to go to like protection programs, or these things where you're holding knowledge that's very dangerous. And so to protect your friends and loved ones, you like fake a death, right? Or you just disappear and you're doing this, you're hurting people because you care. It's like this weird, stories do a great job of showing what that is. And sometimes in our own lives, it has happened to me where you've been on the other end of that, where someone has told you like, you don't get this right now, but like, I'm leaving because I love you, kind of thing. And you're just like, how does that make any sense? If you love me, why don't you just stay? But when you come to a more mature understanding of what all that is, I think it all just makes a little bit more sense as you go. Hey, Maple Daddy, and thank you for following, and thanks for that. So we are reading Birds of Prey. I am Batgirl, Barbara Gordon. This comic book was actually a gift to me when I was still working at the hospital at UHN here as a project manager. I used to come in super early because I loved leaving early from the office. And so me and another guy there got to talk about comic books, and I told him I loved cosplaying as the DC ladies. And so he used to every Tuesday bring me stacks of DC heroines. So it was kind of nice. Okay. So Babs is still doing her job. Hi, Joanne. It's Barbara. Is he in? I heard there's a robbery at Gotham National. I know, sweetie. Your dad's out on a call. Looks like everyone took the day off except for the bad guys. Well, not everyone took the day off. Yeah, I just need to change first. So, looks like everyone took a day off, but not me. I'm working overtime. Remember I told you guys about Thanksgiving? I was like, I never got Thanksgiving off because I was like bartending or worked certain jobs where you didn't get those times off. So, yeah, I'm just working the late shift. So outside Gotham, we're going to throw back to Huntress and Black Canary, out of costume, of course. Outside Gotham. But if I don't post every 5 minutes, people will think that I'm dead. There probably isn't even a Wi-Fi signal out here anyway, Rashid. Good, because my mom's dumb old camera doesn't automatically upload to my social media. Calm down. You'll all get your phones back when we leave. I actually already have a friend who's a school teacher who would be perfect as Helena. I just thought of it. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm the perfect Huntress. Just have to dress her up, you know. And also, Huntress from Earth 2, the one who's Catwoman and Batman's daughter, that mask, I don't even think is like possible in real life. If you guys know what I'm talking about, please do let me know if there's any like masks that make that not look kind of crazy. I hope you guys know what I'm talking about. I'll find it. She might wear it here, actually. Where are we? Oh yeah, Dinah. But the kids just taught me how to use Crackle Chatty. Look, I'm a cute piggy. And then Helena's collecting all the phones because they're out camping. So she's like, put the phone in the bag. It's like, fine, Miss Born in Hell. Pleased to be at your service, Miss Bertinelli. My name is Mr. Deckard. Thine class will learn much from their adventures here. Pray, have you injury waivers for the overnight excursion? And Helena's like a great teacher, so she's like, I've signed all the waivers. They're all here. Take them. Here you go. And here I present to thee our traditional colonial attire we encourage all chaperones to wear to really get into the spirit. And Canary's looking at like, because they're in like olden times. Like back in Winnipeg, we had this place called like the Fort Garry, and we would go on field trips, and it was all like people acting and dressed up as like that time period in like the 1800s. So a similar thing is going on here when it comes to like Gotham, and like they're on this like overnight excursion, and they're going to learn all about the history of Gotham. And Black Canary says, please tell me you wash these between field trips. This thing must weigh 20 pounds. How do women move in this? Well, colonial wear was built to last. You know, I was mad at Barbara for bailing, but I'm starting to think that she had the right idea. Oh my gosh, this is going to be a long 24 hours. I don't think they realize they're going to have to wear corsets and colonial wear on this excursion. So here we are. Okay, so this panel right here, we're going to flash back to Babs in Gotham. Gotham National Bank. I'm here to make a deposit because, of course, you can't fight bad guys without catchy one-liners. I'm here to make a deposit. I know, that was corny, but I've always wanted to say that. I'm here to make a deposit. That could be kind of dirty, Barbara. Just saying. That could be taken the wrong way. Hey, Maury Landry. Welcome. Welcome to live. We're reading Birds of Prey. I'm your host for this evening, Barbara Gordon, Babs, Batgirl, your favorite. Okay. All right. And I hope you're ready for a nice bedtime read. I picked this comic book just because it's a self-contained story, and a lot of the reads I have been doing have been really like heavy and prophetic and like multiple timelines and confusing. So it's nice to kind of do one that's like kind of self-contained and like what it's all about anyways. What's being a superhero all about, right? Yeah, ready for bed. This will help you get ready. It ends on a sweet note. So sweet dreams guaranteed after this. All right, so Batgirl's in shows up at the bank. Oh, Penguin wants to co-host. I'm almost done this, Penguin. We can do this very soon. Okay, I'm here to make a deposit. I know, that was corny, but I've always wanted to say that. What the? Ah, who are you? I'm Batgirl. Canary would get a real kick out of your silly horse. What is it? Your silly horse masks. So she does it like a canary loves to kick like that. So that's definitely like a canary style kick. So those are kind of creepy actually, the horse mask thing when they're robbing the bank. Huntress, on the other hand, would have turned you into glue the minute she saw you. Oof. And lucky for you guys, neither of my partners are here. Lucky? Wish I could stay, but a woman's work is never done. So Batgirl, without Black Canary, single-handedly stops a robbery at a bank because everyone else is out on call. Feels good to help my community, even in the small ways. It feels good to know Gotham's worth fighting for. After all, its oldest residents still live in this crazy city, so they must believe it too, right? Feels good to remember who I'm fighting for, and who I'm fighting against. Feels good I know I can fight crime on my own, even if I feel bad that my team isn't here to help me on this next call. Now, Gotham's a big bad city. It's tough to like do things all on your own. So we have some special guest stars to the Birds of Prey tonight. Black Canary hasn't shown up on Arrow yet for some on season 1. Yeah, because you know, any good show is going to do a good job of like that backstory building first. I kind of wish there was a live action show of just the way the Birds of Prey got together as per the comic books, because like Margot Robbie is gorgeous and beautiful and an amazing Harley Quinn, but she did not create the Birds of Prey. It's just not the way it happened. It was Batgirl and Dinah, right? And they're both kind of like almost like mother hens to like the younger superheroes. So it's kind of one of those things. All right, so we're going to flash back to Helena and Dinah, who are on this like field trip with Helena, who's a teacher, her class. And they're learning about like, the history of Gotham. The first true residents of Gotham were the Miagani tribe, who are scattered between here and what we now call Gotham City. But this man, Shaman Blackfire, convinced the Wagan that the land was cursed and drove them out of their homes. There's something kind of cool about Blackfire, Are you serious? He's a total jerk who stole those people's land. Yeah, but Blackfire was right about one thing. Gotham is totally cursed. Well, you can't argue with that. 30 years before Salem, Gotham held its own witch trials. Deacon Joseph Blackfire led a campaign against witchcraft, which saw many women hanged or drowned for practicing the dark arts. Oh, that's interesting what they're throwing in here. The fact that Gotham before Salem did its own witch burning stuff. So, I do have red hair. They used to just like come after the gingers for that, just accusations of witchcraft for like completely erroneous reasons. And then Black Canary says back, I'd have been hanged for sure. They were probably metahumans like me. Or just innocent women. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I'd be sleeping with the fishes too. But men were punished for witchcraft too. Well, at least the guy was only humiliated and not hanged for being a witch. The more Gotham changes, the more it stays the same. I didn't know that Gotham had that past in it. And they do talk about, it does make sense that Gotham would be like a cursed city. Like there's this idea of like, within like building on top of sacred land that's like cursed, or like driving people out of their land. The Shining has some stuff when it comes to that, like haunted houses, being that we're in spooky season, right? And thanks for the follow, Sweet Pete. Great name. I had a high school friend named Pete, who was dear to me. Hopefully we can reconnect, because I'm going to be back in Winnipeg. My granny's turning 100 years old, you guys. So I'm going to be doing a little interview with her in December. And my dad's birthday is also in December. And my auntie. So I've got a lot of Sagittarius people, and consider talking about archers, right? And Black Canary's lover. He doesn't appear in this comic book, but you get the kind of idea of like the kind of woman. I love Dinah. I love Black Canary. You can kind of see why her and Babs are good friends. And you always need a friend like Dinah who's kind of like sassy, talented, has been through ish, and so she's got your back too, right? Okay. The more Gotham changes, the more it stays the same. Crime still doesn't pay. But ma'am, my crime was merely spending too much money in our gift shop. Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the tour and learned a little something about the great history of Gotham City. Oh, commercialism at its finest. Let's go shopping. And Helena's like, what are you going to do with all of that crap you're buying from the gift shop? Oh, it's not for me. I can't decide if Barbara would prefer the green or the orange t-shirt. Maybe I should call and ask her. Nice try, but you still can't have your phone. Party pooper, fine. You better hope that she likes green. She will. I do like green. Green looks better on me than orange. Just saying, Dinah. Okay. Industry Avenue is big enough for the both of you. It doesn't have to cut. So meanwhile, Batgirl's trying to break up a big street fight in Gotham, looks like, between some thugs. And she's like, it doesn't have to come to blows. And she's trying to be the peacekeeper to no avail. And then A nice girl like you shouldn't be out here this late alone, as he tries to punch her and she dodges. And then nice little uppercut there, and she says, well then, it's a good thing that I called for some backup. And who's the backup, you guys? Guess. Who do you think the backup is if Black Canary and Huntress are disposed or out? It is Catwoman and Poison Ivy. They come into fill in the gaps, the sirens. It's like having like a show. Be like, I have some guest stars for tonight because Dinah and Huntress aren't here. I've got Poison Ivy and Catwoman instead because, it's funny because Barbara actually got the idea for her mask from Catwoman's mask. So kind of fun. Let's see here. So sorry we're late, says Catwoman from up top. Ivy wanted to cut through the park. Gluck, gluck, gluck. Sometimes you just need to stop and smell the roses, Catwoman. Thanks for coming, ladies. Remember, no killing. We just need to break this up. Because remember, they are technically villains and have their own code. So, Barbara needs to, clarify. She's like, you guys, just make sure you don't kill anybody. Just saying. You're good guys here right now. Only cowards bring a gun to a turf war. Turf war? Don't these idiots know the cockroaches already own the Industry Avenue? I know a girl who can swing that thing way better than you. So Catwoman and Poison Ivy are very easily taking down all the thugs, along with Batgirl, who, needed to get some help with the other birds not out of commission, but they're out on vacation, really. No, what did I say? No killing. Fine, but remember, gang members are like weeds, says Ivy. You can mow them down all day long, but they're just going to come back. Ugh. And Catwoman says, well, Ivy does have a point. You called us to help end the fight. Let us do it our way. Tonight, you represent the birds of prey, and that means you do things my way. All right, boss, what's the birds of prey way? We're short on crossbows or short on crossbows and canary cries, right? So canary cries are pretty crazy, right? I have thought of a Catwoman cosplay. There is one in particular I want to do, which is her old school, cat suit, and it's purple. I'll find it and share it with you guys. But I have thought of, an old school Catwoman cosplay. Poison Ivy, I love. I have thought about it. But I feel like for me to do Poison Ivy properly, I would have to do green paint. And fun fact, Yvonne Craig, who was Batgirl in the 60s show with Adam West and Burt Ward, she actually also played a character in Star Trek as a green alien, and she does this sexy dance for Spock and Captain Kirk, and Spock being a Vulcan is oh, that's the type of dance that small Vulcan children do, and it's just funny. She's a trained ballerina too, but I went on a whole tangent. Let's continue onward. But yes, I would consider it. But for me personally, I would love a Catwoman to play with versus me being Catwoman. I play as Black Canary sometimes, and I have played Huntress once, but I haven't played a DC villainess yet, actually. So it would be Catwoman first, I think. I like that whole whip situation. Okay. So this is kind of cool, though. You do have Catwoman and Batgirl kicking butt together, right? So tonight, she says to Catwoman, you represent the birds of prey, and that means we do things my way. All right, boss, says Catwoman. What's the birds of prey way? We're short on crossbows or canary cries, so together we are going to do this as a team. Oh, yeah. I know, teamwork makes the dream work, right? And then back to the campfire where Helena and Dinah are. I thought you were supposed to stick to the colonial theme. Hot dogs don't feel very old-timey to me. You're right. To really be authentic, we should hunt down some deer or rabbit for dinner. I'm good with hot dogs. Shut up, B.A. Drew, are you feeling okay? Yeah, you're kind of roasting your weenie there, kid. Sorry, I just can't stop thinking about the shaman and the Deacon Blackfire thing. Did anyone else think it was weird that they kind of looked identical? Good observation, Drew. They looked identical because they were the same man. The tour left out the little detail of Blackfire's immortality. So who's really, like, it was almost like a warlock was burning other witches. Weird, right? The tour left out all the little detail of Blackfire's immortality. No, he wasn't, but his staff was. Really? I knew it. So, what? He was like magic or something? Shaman Blackfire claimed he was a messenger from God, sent to save the Miyagi. He quickly seduced the tribe, pushing their chief aside and taking over. Which, you know, in fantasy tropes, you know, when you have like the evil magician who like takes the king's ear and like poisons him and stuff and then starts like running the kingdom all messed up, that kind of situation. Knowing the shaman brought nothing but danger, the Miyagi chief demanded that he leave their village. But Blackfire refused and instead killed the chief. Sounds like a great guy. Furious, the Miyagi rebelled, firing dozens of arrows and into Blackfire, but he still wouldn't die. Interesting. Terrified, the oh my gosh, I keep on saying it like Mr. Miyagi, and I don't know if that's even right. Terrified, the Miyagi sealed Blackfire into a cave and left a warning totem to never open it. Little did they know, Blackfire was made immortal by the power of his staff, which the Miyagi left inside the cave. Soon after, the Miyagi's crops died and the tribe left their land, afraid that it had been cursed by Blackfire. It would be 50 years before the Dutch settlers established colonies on the land. They quickly found and opened the cave, hoping to use it for shelter. Weeks later, more Dutch colonists arrived to visit their fellow settlers inland, but all they found were pools of blood. Their first colonists had ignored the warnings that anyone who dared open the cave would suffer the wrath of Shaman Blackfire. And that cave is in these very woods. And at the same time, rah! So scary campfire tales, right? And everyone screams, ah! Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! And Black Canary and Huntress like share a little, like, yeah, girl, slap. We scared them. You can't have a little sleepover without a scary story, right? You should have seen your faces. I didn't know I was a screamer until now. I seriously thought that we were going to die. The cave. And so, but there is a cave there. And perhaps there is something to that ghost story, right? Dun, dun, dun. And then back to Batgirl and Catwoman and Poison Ivy, you know, getting down in Gotham, doing work. Hey, Lucky. Oh, you're so lucky. You're so fine, but you crack. I don't know, the Britney Spears song. That song came to me earlier today. So funny that you showed up and dropped a heart me. So thank you for that. Okay, so back to Batgirl telling Catwoman and Poison Ivy, remember guys, I know we're fighting back at bad guys and their lowlifes, but don't kill anybody. I'm not even winded, says Catwoman. I could go all night long. Yeah, but these guys can't. But bet, oh my gosh, the way I said that. Yeah, but bet these guys can't. Can you? Yeah, you better run. So they did it. And then they're like, yay, teamwork. Yeah, you better run. We did it. And then it was like, yay, the three. How fun is that? Poison Ivy and Catwoman, Batgirl all working together. Great job, you two. Batgirl, I saw you take almost all these guys out, but you're the one who looks beat. Do you need a hospital? Did one of those jerks get a good hit in? No, I'm just tired. Been a busy day, that's all. All right. Well, Selena and I are going to binge watch some TV at her place. You want to join? I promised Ivy we could watch that Earth Planet show again. Oh, thanks, but I'll take a rain check. How cute is that? Like, Ivy's gonna go over to Catwoman's place and watch Earth Planet with her. Funny. Okay. So Batgirl's like, don't worry, I have other things to do. I'll take a rain check, ladies. Suit yourself. Good night, Batgirl. You know, I need to get back in touch with Mother Nature myself. Indeed, Babs. And by doing that, she means by sleeping. So sleeping. Oh no, we're cutting back to Black Canary. That's Black Canary sleeping. She's a blonde, clearly. Dinah, wake up. What's going on? Shh. Look. They're gone. Where do you think they went? We both know where they went. I thought you made up that story to scare the kids. Grayson told me that story. I thought he made it up. I think she means Dick Grayson. I think. Hurry. I'm going as fast as I can in this stupid getup. That boulder must weigh over 1,000 pounds. So how did a bunch of kids manage to move it? They didn't. That's my impression. Oh, look, and now look. That story is turning out to be real. Dun, dun, dun. What's going on? How'd you even get in here? Drew wanted to see the cave. He became obsessed. He pushed that boulder all by himself. Where's Drew? Like he had super strength. He took him. And then you can see the shaman guy. It's been so long since I've had anyone under my control. It's exhilarating, says the shaman. In fact, I've even forgotten how to kill someone quickly. Dun, dun, dun. Too bad we aren't staying long enough for you to remember. Oh, but you've only just arrived. Leave her alone. And then she rips the dress. She's like, built to last my ass. Because remember, they're wearing old colonial garb to blend in with the whole old-timey thing. But don't worry, they can still kick ass. I got you. So take two. Now she can kick as she's ripped the dress. Take two. Umph. Foom. Whatever power you witches possess is nothing in comparison to mine. Oh my gosh, I heard how this story ends. We are going to die. Wait, the story. The staff. Miss B, you have to take his staff. It holds his power. And you said kids today don't listen. Guess I'm good at my job. What can I say? I love that she's a teacher, and the fact that her teaching her kids about the story is now going to help them beat the bad guy, which is kind of cool. Out of the cave now. I'll take that. You want your magic stick back? Then come and get it. You are meddling with forces you do not understand. Oh, yeah? Well, understand this. I know, classic one-liner. Because, we are superheroes all here, right? You guys need your one-liners. Oh, yeah? Well, understand this. No, scree. This thing really packs a punch. H, the kids, they saw you fighting. Seriously? You guys are too easy to trick. Are you telling me that that was all fake? Was that part of the tour? We thought you might like something a little bit more immersive, and a more immersive look at Gotham's history. Oh my gosh, they're just like, yeah, we just made that all up. Hey, Miss Z, Zalia. Hi, my fellow birds of prey. I feel like you'd be a good huntress too, actually. Hey, because we're just about coming to like the cute end of this, right? You know, nothing like teamwork. And we even, before you arrived, Zalia, we also had Batgirl team up with Catwoman and Poison Ivy to take down some bad guys. So that's kind of fun, right? Okay, so they were just saying like it was all an act, them taking down the evil shaman and all that kind of stuff, right? So we thought you might like a more immersive look at Gotham's history. And the guy who was like taken over by the shaman, like his mind was like, felt kind of real to me, right? You didn't think Miss Bertinelli brought you all the way out here just for wax figures and a weenie roast, did you? I can't believe you helped them, Drew. Yeah, I mean, sure. I was in on it the whole time. Can we take selfies with you on the bus ride home tomorrow, Wispy? Only if you post them on Crackle Chat. Oh my gosh, you're the coolest teacher ever. And so, I don't know, I didn't have teachers who were also superheroes back in the day, but maybe I did. Just didn't know it, right? Secret identities. It was all just a dream, right? Okay, so now all the excitement is over. We're wrapping up our little read tonight. Thank you guys for joining me for reading The Birds of Prey as Batgirl, Barbara Gordon, the first Batgirl, right? It's a cute ending. I'm excited you guys are here for it. So what are we going to do with that thing? I was thinking we could donate it to Deckard. He could add it to the museum as an artifact. Oh, you're more charitable than me. I was ready to burn it to keep warm, says Dinah. Guess I'm in the giving mood for being the definition of a great chaperone today. You know, I was kind of getting used for not looking at this thing every 5 minutes. So like Helena finally gives Black Canary Dinah her phone back because she'd confiscated it. Because remember, like, she's a teacher, so she's like, no phones on the school trip. We're here to learn. So she gives the phone back to Dinah, and she's like, you know what? Got kind of used to not having my phone with me, right? But I guess we should call Babs, see if she's all right. Actually, I could use your help. I'm in big trouble. I'm afraid I didn't get my permission slip signed, Mrs. Bertinelli, says Barbara. Oh, I love it. Oh, Lucky, thank you for that. How cute does she look here, too, as well? Aw, thanks, Lucky. You're the star for that. Okay. I'll let it slide just this once. I'm glad you could join us, Babs. You guys were right. I need some R&R. Oh, you got bored, didn't you? Says Dinah. Did you have a quiet night in Gotham, huh? And Barbara's like, I can honestly say it just wasn't the same without you two. Oh, you're just in time for the most important part of a camping trip. S'mores! I've been waiting for this all day. And you can see that crackle, right? And this cute scene, right? Under the moon, your besties, sharing campfire stories. And so Babs asks the girls unmasked, just chilling. So, tell me, what did I miss here? Oh, just the usual boring butter churning and ghost stories. Right, Dinah? And Dinah's like, totally. Hi, and then love it. So we end the scene with Barbara, Helena, and Dinah sharing s'mores around a campfire after doing, being separated. But, realizing, the birds of prey, as a team. They have multiple iterations, but the three of them, this three is a special one, at least to me. So thank you guys for joining us. And Pokey, hi. I see someone magical right back. I was going to battle Penguin tonight, but I'm kind of beat. It's been a little while since I've done one of these reads with you guys, but this is a self-contained read, meaning I'm going to have it in full, hopefully with some images from the comic book as well for you to get if you're part of the Cosmic Comic Book Club. So you can do that on my Patreon. I also have a Ko-Fi and a Discord, which I am slowly getting organized. I am also working on my own series, which is going to accumulate in a comic book, but that's all coming very, very soon. But otherwise, the next cosplay, hold on, Matthew, thank you for that. The next cosplay I'm going to do tomorrow, where it's Warrior Wednesday tomorrow. So, Kara will be back tomorrow, and I will be back as well, but not live. We're going to be doing a little skit tomorrow, me and Kara, me and Supergirl, about what it means to be a hero, and it has nothing to do with powers, right? Being a superhero doesn't mean having superpowers. It's being a superhero. And heroes are all about having a lion heart, about having courage in the face of danger, right? No Pokemon cosplay, unfortunately. Pikachu, I should dress Wolfie up as Pikachu and I could be Zero Suit Samus. That would be fun. That'd be kind of a way of infusing some Pokemon into it. Because I love Pokemon, Pokemon, the first movie, I definitely cried during that movie. But I'm also like an easy cry for movies. Misty would work. I like Misty. Also, like, who are the ones with, I don't like the Rockets, or what do you want to call them. Like, I don't really play bad guys really well. Like, my friends are asking me that, like, what villain would you play, Rachel? I'm like, I don't know. I'm not usually a villain. Like, I feel like Team Rocket, yeah. It'd be cool if me and hubby did Team Rocket. Kind of fun. So many cosplays. Yes, Pokey, yes. Thank you for that. Like, dropping the nerdy info into the chat. And you know what? Watching Pokemon also brings me back to watching YTV after school, like after school specials. So I am hopefully going to have some releases that are like more in tune with that, like little skits between my different characters or my versions of them. Because as you guys have seen in like tonight's read, we had Batgirl work with Catwoman and Poison Ivy, as well as like you had Helena and Dinah go on like a trip, like a school trip, but like realizing that like Black Canary herself doesn't have like a secret identity. She's like a known like celebrity, like a singer and like a superhero. So it's kind of like one of those things where who are you, your identity, and what you're able to create as a character here on this earth plane, because it's so much more magical than we are allowed to conceive of it. That's why we're only allowed to talk about things in art, right? In code, in ways that seem frivolous and fictional, but there is a deep nugget of truth in them. So thank you guys for joining me for this fun playtime as Batgirl Barbara Gordon, one of my favorite characters to play because of her brains, her badassness, her resilience to keep coming back fighting no matter what, because that strength is something that in each of us, I think we can all, use a little courage, right? It can always help. Even like, situations where you're like, it's tough, but that's why I was going to read you guys this one by Batgirl, where it's like a lot of it takes place in her mind. And for those of us who are, she's kind of like the other side of Zatanna, who's like more magical in nature, where Batgirl and Supergirl are more like practical, which is funny, right? When we're talking about superpowers and stuff, right? But I think in all of you, we have these different aspects of self that push and pull on each other, right? And depending on the situation and the type of person you are when you encounter that situation, whatever choice you make will be the right one And I think that's for all of us to kind of trust that in the moment, right? Because that's what freestyle is. Or like when you're like poetry jamming, or like when you're even having a conversation with someone. Like I'm not planning out the conversation 10 minutes ahead. And like sometimes like some conversations with people, you go down a rabbit hole and you end up on a tangent over here and talking about like, I don't know, dolphins and the fact that like they communicate with each other with like sonar basically, and like bats too. Like there's so much tech in nature that if we just slowed down and listened and looked and paid attention, that we could learn a lot from, if we would stop being so like, oh, I know about all this already, or like I already have it figured out, all that kind of stuff. My autism plans conversations. Well, I mean, that's because you can see the future too, though, right? Because Batgirl's alter ego is Oracle, right? And if we think about oracles in the ancient world, the oracles of Delphi, it's this idea of divinating the future, like clairvoyance, seeing the future. But in my own practice of my own clairvoyance, like seeing the future is not what people think it is, at least in my experience of feeling it, because I don't see the future. I almost like feel out certain situations where like things will feel like I've done it before, or a place will feel familiar, or a person will feel familiar, or I can feel when someone's thinking about me. Like, did you call? So that kind of stuff, all of those different like not understood abilities as it comes to being human too. Like Batgirl and Supergirl definitely have a lot of conversations between the two of them, because Batgirl oftentimes feels inadequate when she comes up with like all like when she's in bigger stories like this, like Crisis, when you're dealing with like Green Lantern and like the Flash, who can like outrun time, and Zatanna, who can just is like a freaking powerful magician, and Starfire and like Raven. You have like these very powerful beings, right? And to be like, well, I'm just like a human who's pretty smart, and I could do computers really well, right? So, but like, there's more to it than that, of course, right? So, but Batgirl herself, yeah, her own character growth comes from realizing that the power of being human, right? The human genius, and her and Batgirl and Nightwing, like the Bat family, that is like the recognition of even playing in the darkness. Like humanity has that ability to be able to fight monsters in the areas that others dare not go, right? To do the things that take that deep courage to step into the void and the darkness and not know where you're going, but feel into it, right? So to all of you out there who walk that line, who walk in the darkness and carry that torch of light, I see you, okay? Remember, it takes true courage for you to be exactly you in this cosmic game of life. So be sure to play as exactly you, because the universe is counting on you. Eidetic memory. I think they call it eidetic memory, which I think is defined as photogenic memory. And I think I have a bit of that as well. Like I have an ability to like look at a textbook and like take almost like a snapshot of that textbook page and put it in my mind. And I have to do a practice of it. I can't just like look at it quickly. I have to actually read it. But once I have the info, I have it like in my head. So like when I go, I need to like find information in my own mind. I can visualize it. That's how I look at information. But other people are like auditory. Like my hubby, he prefers it when I read out long articles to him, and he'll remember it forever and ever and ever. But if you're auditory, remembering that kind of stuff, that is different. Like just being able to see, like, but memory itself, how we hold memories. And I've done this many times with my sister, where I have to get her to verify certain memories, because I'm like, did I dream that? Or is that like a real memory? But then like, what is a real memory? Because it's already like, it's in the past. And you can have 5 people see the same event and tell different stories about what happened to it. Just like even you watch, all of us read this comic book, and we're all going to have different parts of it that are our favorites, who our favorite bird of prey is, all that kind of stuff. And it's all true, right? None of these truths negate each other. I think that's something for us to realize, right? remember it forever. That could be tough too, though, right? Because I think there's a lot of stories where they talk about how, like, we need to forget certain things, right? There's a reason why a lot of, like, it's like playing a video game, right? I'm playing D&D right now. I'm gonna hopefully stream it very soon, but we did a whole campaign. I used a character named Mayari Moonelf. So we played a whole campaign. We did really well. We went far, but that group, like, it came to like its natural kind of close. And so two of the characters are now in a new campaign. It's a whole new story. But Mayari, like, her as a character still has like echoes of the game before, even though it's a whole new game and I'm at level 1 again. So that's like a great way, I feel like, an analogy for like this reality. Like, you may have done other lifetimes of this before, but this is the first time you're doing it now, but that doesn't negate past experience and stuff, I suppose. Yes. Room for growth when we forget, right? Like, pretend that you're a beginner again. Or like in dance, sometimes it's harder to teach someone with bad habits. Let's say you've learned how to turn or do a pirouette like sloppy. Like my split, for example, I used to do like a really like a cheat the split. It's an optical illusion. It's not a true split. But then if you just keep on cheating it, you're never going to learn how to do a new split. As well as if you learn bad habits in turning, it's actually harder to unlearn a bad habit and then learn it proper than to be like a total beginner and just like learn fresh, right? Or like starting with a blank sheet of paper versus like constantly erasing and being like, you know what? Start from scratch, right? So it's like in your own, but there's no one size fits all, right, for any kind of situation. And that's the beautiful complexity of life, right? How, as we approach each situation, how we deal with it, you kind of just have to trust yourself and your own experiences. And also, this is where your hunches, your intuition, your gut feeling about things, you're just like, something about this, I don't know why, but I'm going to pick this, right? Or the dice are just on your side, or chance, or fortune, or synchronicity, coincidence, where there are no coincidences. So to all the magic that is in your life and for all the magic that is soon to come, I'm going to just also leave you guys with my tag out, even though I did it and then I got on a tangent with you guys. So to all you magical beings out there, keep doing your thing. I see you in dreamland as well. Yeah, keep being you, right? Keep going down the rabbit holes. Keep trusting your heart. Keep listening to those intuitions. Because it matters. It all matters. It matters more than you know. Trust me. More than we're allowed to know all the time. But yeah, it's like one of those things where like there's like a big cosmic scoreboard out there, and every time you do something like kind or nice or compassionate, someone knows, and someone's watching, and someone is cheering, right, for you. So do your best, because your best is always good enough. Okay, guys, remember, thanks, Aaliyah, and thanks for being there to hear it, right? Because saying these things is one thing. It's another thing to have someone actually hear it and receive it and get it, right? And thanks for you guys for always being like so in like such wonderful surprises in the chat, because we always end up with such information where I'm like, wow, I didn't know that before, and there must have been a reason I decided to play Batgirl tonight, right? And just being open to the beauty of what that all is and being okay with not fully getting it, right? It's fun not to know. It's fun to be surprised sometimes too, right? Oh yes, sweet dreams, safe travels tonight, all of my dream warriors out there as well, right? I'll see you there, right? And remember, it takes true courage for you to be exactly you in this cosmic game of life, right? Being you is a revolutionary act, so please do be exactly you, full frontal, no apologies, because the universe is counting on you. But no worries, I do have your back. Until next time, my superhero friends, stay magical, super, and all the beautiful things. Goodbye.